Hello and welcome to our virtual yoga class. My name is Vanessa. I'm here to support you for the rest of your practice. We'll begin in a sitting position. So you can sit either cross-legged or how I'm demonstrating right now. I'm sitting on my shins, my knees are bent. Either seat works. As you're settling, you're checking in with your breath. Notice where that natural posture is and see if you can invite any other subtle movements to bring your body into more integrity. Now, what I mean by integrity in the context of our yoga class is activating our core, sliding our shoulders down, spine is long, and then chin is neutral. And then eyes open or closed. If your eyes are open, I recommend focusing on one point across the floor or room. Or if your eyes are closed here, you can gently lift your gaze towards that area, the center between your eyebrows. And then you'll inhale here, you can exhale, sigh it out. Noticing our breath is our bridge to the physical, mental, emotional body. We're inhaling here, optional exhale, sigh it out. I like to emphasize sighing out because we get an immediate sensation of release. We notice a release in physical tension, and then even start to notice a relationship of that mental and emotional tension releasing as we exhale, sigh out. And then notice that throughout the class, this is available for you. A deep inhale, exhale, sighing out. Throughout the class, regardless, we will place our attention continuously back to the breath as a way to support us in our strength, flexibility, and balance. We'll invite a few breath cycles here, a few moments of silence, settling into the beginning portion of class. If you feel called to invite an intention for the rest of the class, go ahead and invite that intention. It could be a word or a phrase. Something you can practice returning to as we practice arriving to this moment. You're noticing your belly expand, rib cage expand. Notice any thoughts, any sensations without judgment, just notice. So we're cultivating that ability to observe without judging. Judging something as good or wrong, just noticing. If your eyes are closed, we can start to open our eyes here together. Let's inhale, exhale, sigh it out. We'll start to shift our position so that we are in our cross-legged position if you're not there already. Our hands on our knees, once again, core is strong, chest open, spine long, shoulders are drawn down, and chin is neutral. Intentional breath, inhale here, exhale. And then inhale, After that exhale, we lift our arms up. Palms up towards the ceiling. Stretching throughout the length of the body. Notice the shoulders. Notice elbows are long. You can also separate and open up around the palms here. Now stretch towards the left side of the room and hold. Back to center and our opposite side. Come back to center, round your spine, tuck your chin towards your chest, palms press towards the front, and hold. And then release your hands. Now left hand crosses over towards your right knee, twist towards the right. Chin moves towards your shoulder, and you're gripping that knee to intensify the twist. And an opposite knee. Come back to center. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Palms up towards the ceiling. Lengthen and open here, lengthening the elbows. Stretch towards the left side. Hold here. So you're still anchoring your sit bones on the floor. You'll notice a tendency for your right sit bone to lift here. And those are the bones near your glutes. And then back to center, and then opposite side. Inhale. Exhale, breathe into your side body, back to center, round your spine, chin towards chest, palms towards the front. So very purposely lengthening my elbows, fingers are interlaced, palms are open. Release. Take your right hand towards your left knee, twist towards the left. Take your chin towards that left shoulder, grip your knee to intensify the twist. Remain here. Take a comfortable breath. It's difficult to take full breaths and twists. And then release. Opposite side. Gripping your knee to intensify the twist. And release. Back to center. Intentional breath cycle. We're going to inhale, belly expands. Exhale, release. We're going to open up our chest and shoulders by interlacing our fingers behind us. Either palms touch or they do not. Extend your elbows, stitch your shoulder blades closer together. So it's critical here that you're purposely bringing your shoulder blades closer together. They're reaching towards each other as you're lengthening your elbows. Once again, palms touching or not. Gently lift your gaze and then lift your chin. Not all the way up, you're just lifting your chin and gaze up ever so slightly upwards. Inhale here. Exhale, release, hands on your knees. Drop your chin towards your chest. Hang in here, noticing that soft stretch in the upper back and neck. Bring your chin back to center. Take your chin over your right shoulder. Hold. And then opposite shoulder. Bring your chin back to center and lift your chin up towards the ceiling. Open up your throat. Back to center. Release your hands behind you, interlace your fingers, one more round. Purposely bring your shoulder blades closer together. Extend your elbows, ever so slightly lift your chin, your gaze up towards the ceiling. Inhale here. And exhale, release. Lengthen your left leg out in front of you. We're gonna bend our right knee here. Lengthen your spine, bring your left arm out, twist here towards the right. Flex your left foot, lengthen your spine, chin moves towards your shoulder. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Press that right foot right against your thigh. We're going to start to focus here on our lower body. Flex your left foot here. Breathe into your ankle, your calf, hamstring. Leading with your belly and your chest, fold. You're dropping your belly towards the mat. Hands can reach anywhere, thighs, shins, or toes. You can either relax that left foot or keep it flexed. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Notice your boundary. Breathe into your boundary. We're working on our flexibility. The way we get better at our flexibility is going further than we're accustomed to. Do so, push your boundary to a point that is not painful. Three deep belly breaths wherever you're at. And then release, slowly lengthening the spine. We're gonna draw our right leg out, bend our left knee. Our left foot is on the floor. We flex our right foot, take our right arm out. We're gonna twist towards the left, hooking our elbow onto our knee, lengthening our spine, chin neutral, shifting towards the left shoulder. Right foot is flexed. Inhale. Exhale, release. Left foot presses against your thigh. Leading through your chest, your heart, start to fold. You can have a little bend to that right knee. Hands can rest on your thighs, shins, or toes. Breathe into your boundary. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe into your boundary. 3 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Now lengthen both legs. 3 breaths. Hands, shins, thighs, shins, or toes. Breathe. Breathe into hamstrings and glutes, lower back. And once you've taken a few breaths there, release. Both soles of the feet touch. Elbows can rest right behind the creases of your knees, and then fold, either chest open, or you can round your spine a little bit, chin towards your chest. Notice that type of breath that begins with the belly. So you're noticing the expansion of that belly as you inhale. Inhale. And then exhale, release. Let's go ahead and transition into our downward facing dog. We're going to shift into that upside down V. Now you're going to place your palms firmly onto the mat. Now when you're placing your palms, you're spreading your fingertips out for extra support here. You want your fingertips to be gripping the mat. Your hips lift up towards the ceiling. Your heels can be lifted here. Hold here. You're breathing into your hamstrings, the length of your spine. There's a lot of strength here also in your upper body. There's a lot going on. And you're in this inversion here. The relationship of that inversion, notice how that feels like in your body. Inhale and exhale, deep belly breaths. Imagine you're breathing through the pores of your skin. Now if you've taken a few breaths here, lengthen your legs, prepare for a plank pose. Palms are on the mat, lift your core up towards the ceiling, glutes are engaged. Quads as well, keep your elbows close to your torso as you release down towards the floor. Inhale up, lengthening your elbows. Engage your glutes. Curl your toes, downward facing dog, remain here. Inhale, exhale. Couple of deep breaths here. You're strengthening throughout the body, opening up here. Second round out of 5. Plank pose. Release down towards the floor. Inhale up. Upward facing dog. Your shoulders are away from your ears. And then lift back up, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale, plank pose. Release down towards the floor. And that upward facing dog, you're noticing any compression there in the lower back or mid back. Press through your palms here for support. There's a gentle stretch in the abdomen. Curl your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, go through another round, plank pose. Release down towards the floor. Inhale up, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here. Next round, plank pose, release down towards the floor. Inhale up, upward facing dog. And then exhale, down dog. I think that completes 5 rounds. If I'm missing 1 round, go ahead and take that final round. Either way, we meet at our downward facing dog. Inhaling and exhaling here. We lift our left leg, bend our knee, stack our hips and hold. And then release our foot back down towards the floor, opposite side. Lift your right leg, bend your knee, stack your hips. Release your foot back down towards the floor. Take your gaze right between your hands. Walk or jump up to that forward fold. Please soften your neck, your head. Those are areas we tense up. We don't learn to let it go. And this forward fold, your torso is relaxed, including your neck, your head. Let's inhale, sweep our arms up overhead. Hands meet in front of our heart center. We take a generous breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Our feet are grounded onto the floor. Imagine a line of energy from the base of the spine to the top of your head. I recommend closing your eyes or keeping your gaze focused and steady on one point across the floor room. Now we're inviting that muscle of our imagination. We're visualizing breathing through the pores of our skin. This is a more full body awareness of our body. Inhaling through the pores of our skin, exhaling through the pores of our skin. 3 breaths. Notice that practice of arriving to your breath, your experience, your body. Perhaps return to that intention that you set earlier in the class. If you did so, it could be that word or phrase. Otherwise, you're just observing your body. Inhale and exhale. I recommend exhaling, sighing out. We release our hands, 2-legged balance. We're going to lift our arms up overhead, palms up towards the ceiling. Lift your heels halfway or all the way up and hold. Keep your gaze steady across the room. We're noticing that stillness in our body, and we're also noticing that paradox of those vibrations and movement as we're also in stillness. It's one of the lessons in balance poses. Inhale here, exhale, release your hands. Interlace your fingers behind you, either palms touching or not. Extend your elbows and very purposely bringing my shoulder blades closer together here. I gently lift my gaze, my chin up towards the ceiling. Now keeping your elbows extended, keeping those shoulder blades knitted close together, I bend my knees, fold down, leading through my chest. Softening my neck and head here. Hands to shins. Inhale up 3 times. Inhale halfway up. When I'm exhaling, I'm softening my neck, my head. Breathe into your hamstrings. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, release. Let's sweep our arms up overhead, grounding through our heels, noticing our toes, noticing our spine long, our spine extending. As we lift our arms up, notice left hand, press against right hand press against left hand, a practice of presence, noticing both palms press. Breathe with your whole body, imagining breathing through the pores of your skin. Inhale. Exhale, release, warrior 2. Take your left foot forward, take your right leg back, right foot is at a diagonal. There's a 90-degree bend to that left knee. Now you're stacking your arms here, arms are to a T. You're taking your gaze over your left fingertips. Hips are open. Sink into your hips. Imagine that line of energy from one fingertip or to the other. Keep your gaze steady. Deep belly breath. Release that right hand right behind your thigh. Lift your left arm up. Notice that side body stretch here. Come back to center. Inhale. Exhale. Drop your elbow right onto your thigh. Lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. You're extending throughout that right arm. There's a bend to that knee. Inhale. Exhale, release your hands onto the mat. Pivot that right foot, so now you're in a low lunge here. Now you're going to press that right palm is right beneath your right shoulder. Press that there, lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. Right knee onto the floor or right leg extended. Inhale. Exhale, remain here. Release your hand onto the floor. Take your vinyasa or go straight into a downward facing dog. By vinyasa, you can go to plank pose, upward facing dog, and then meet here in this down dog. Take your gaze between your hands to walk or jump up to that forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, softening your neck. Sweep your arms up overhead. Notice both palms come to touch. Recall your intention. Arrive to the mat, arrive to your breath, arrive to your experience. Intentional breath. Release your hands, balance. We lift our arms up overhead, palms up towards the ceiling. Lift your heels halfway or all the way up. Keep your gaze steady. Inhale. Exhale. Release your hands, release your heels, interlace your fingers behind you. Either palms touch or they don't. I'm purposely bringing my shoulder blades closer together here. I lift my gaze up towards the ceiling. I lift my chin. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, fold down, forward fold. I keep my shoulders close together, shoulder blades. Elbows are long, neck is soft. I take my hands to my shins. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, second round. Out of 3, soften my neck as I fold. Third round, inhale, halfway up. I'm breathing to my glutes and my hamstrings. And I'm going to sweep my arms up overhead. Hands meet right in front of our heart center. I invite a generous breath. Inhale here. Exhale. Release your hands, warrior 2, right foot forward, left leg steps back. There's a 90-degree bend to that right knee. My arms are out to a T. I take my gaze over my right fingertips. I hold my gaze steady. I ground through my heels, glutes are active. I sink into my hips. There's a natural opening here to your hips. Inhale and exhale, remain here. Find a steady breath. This is a pose of strength and focus. Release that left hand behind your thigh. Lift your right arm up. Keep a bend to that right knee. Elbow onto your thigh. Lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. You're extending throughout that left arm, sinking into that right hip. Release down towards the floor. Pivot your left foot. Now you're in a high lunge or in a lunge here. Left hand directly beneath your shoulder. Lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. You have the option of releasing that left knee onto the floor. Inhale. And then exhale, release your hand. Either take your vinyasa or step back into your downward facing dog. Breathe through the pores of your skin. We all meet at our downward facing dog. Step back, plank pose. And now drop your knees onto the floor. Drop your belly down towards the floor. Ground that left palm onto the mat. You're going to lift your right arm, left leg at the same time. Use that left palm to support you to find some lift as well as your inhale. Opposite side. Left arm lifts, right leg lifts. We're using some tricep strength as well. One more time on each side. And then on the next round, 2 times, both arms, both legs. And then after that second time, stay there an extra breath or 2. Make sure not to crunch up around your shoulders. And then drop that right cheek onto the mat. Collapse your body. Very purposely soften your body here. We also want to cultivate moments in our class where we soften our bodies. That's a different type or a different aspect of a holistic yoga practice. I recommend closing your eyes. You can keep them open if you prefer. And something to learn here is see if you can remain attentive with the breath. And then notice that relationship where you can be soft and relaxed with your body, yet your awareness can still remain attentive and aware. So you want to cultivate that also in just our daily life. How can I remain focused, yet also relaxed? Notice what that experience is like in your body. Three more breaths here. And then after those 3 breaths, we're going to go through the same sequence again. We're just adding an extra one. So 3 times on each side, plus 3 times when we do both arms and legs at the same time. So ground that left palm onto the floor. Lift your right leg, lift your left leg. Switch it out. Use your inhale to find that lift. For a total of 3 times on each side. Be careful with your lower back. Keep your elbow close to your side, the one where the palm is grounded. After those 3 rounds, you're gonna lift both arms, both legs up. So move at your own pace with your breath. I do recommend staying there an extra breath cycle or 2. When you reach that 3rd round, both arms lifted, both legs lifted. And then in an effort of balance, the opposite cheek on the floor. Invite an intentional breath. Still remain attentive and aware of the breath. Body softens and relaxes. Invite about 2 more breaths here. Inhale, exhale. We're going to take our hands to frame our chest. So we're going to shift into an upward facing dog. From there, we'll shift into a child's pose. Take a moment here to ground through that upward facing dog. Engage your glutes for extra support here to release any strain there in the lower back. And now bend your knees, shift down into a child's pose. Knees either close together or towards the edges of your mat. You're going to activate different parts of the hips and lower back depending on where you place your knees. Recall your intention. Practice arriving to your breath. And then you'll start to inch that left hand towards the right corner of your mat. Your elbow will float off the floor. And then release. And then opposite side, right hand inches towards the left corner of the mat. Right elbow floats off, forehead on the floor. And release. Ground both palms onto the mat. We're going to lift up, tabletop, hands beneath your shoulders, knees width 6 distance apart. We inhale up, very purposely releasing any compression around the lower back. Exhale, round your spine. Move at your own pace with your breath. Now, when I say with your breath, yes, you can sync up your breath where you're inhaling into a cow, rounding your spine into a cat. That's very natural. But you can also remain in either a cat or cow pose for an extra breath cycle or 2 in order to get a full exploration here. Now, remember, your palms are grounded onto the floor. Your shins, tops of the feet are on the floor. So you're noticing that grounded. And then you're placing extra attention, lower back, mid back, upper back around the neck. Alternating attention around the shoulders and chest to the tailbone, lower back area, depending on which pose. But these are very simple ways to take care of that health throughout the spine. Major areas of complaint is back pain. Wherever you're at, one more cat and cow pose. And then we'll transition out of our cat and cow pose. Come to sit onto the mat, making sure that you have room behind you to lay down. Now we're working our core strength here and our glute strength and our quad strength by coming into our boat pose. And there's two ways you can approach this pose with your hands. For extra support, you keep your hands behind your thighs. So you have that option of lifting your legs, activating glutes and quads. You want to imagine there's that cord lifting your chest, your heart. You can take your palms out towards the ceiling. So this is an interesting pose of a combination of strength and balance. Notice how your breath will dramatically change in this pose. Do your best for a nice even breath. Imagine that cord lift you up. And then we'll start to lay down towards the floor. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Lengthen your legs. Slowly release your heels. And now release your head. And then together, let's inhale here. Exhale, sigh it up. Once again, the practice of arriving to our breath, to the mat, to our experience. We'll bend our right knee, grab our knee with our hands. 3 rounds, lift your forehead up towards your knee, and then drop your head back. Core strength. And chin towards chest to release any tension there or in the neck. And then after those 3 rounds, release. Opposite side, and bend your left knee. 3 rounds. After those 3 rounds, release. Bend both knees, feet float off the floor, and then rock a little bit to the left and to the right. And then once you've taken a few moments there, you want to make sure you massage there in the lower back. Once you've taken a few moments there, rest both feet onto the floor. Rest your right shin or ankle on top of your left thigh. Weave your right hand between your legs. Interlace your fingers behind that left thigh. And then breathe into your right hip. Breathe into your right hip. Notice your boundary. Fold a little bit more. You can always hang in here. You'll invite an automatic stretch here. You can also bring your thigh purposely towards your belly, your chest for a more intense stretch. And then release. Opposite side, left shin or ankle on top of your right thigh. Weave your left hand between your legs. Interlace your fingers behind that right thigh. Either hanging in here or bringing your thigh closer towards your belly or chest. Now that can be a very subtle shift. Inhale and exhale. Breathe deeply. Inhale. Exhale, release, round your spine, forehead towards your knee, chin towards your chest. And then shift into your butterfly pose, both soles of the feet touching. You can choose different places to position your hands. Hands can frame your hips, hands can rest on your belly, chest. You can lift your arms up overhead so your elbows are bent to make a diamond around your head, backs of the hands on the floor. There's more of an opening around the upper back, a little arch to your spine there. Now do practice softening and releasing around the hips. Dropping the tailbone towards the floor. And then I recommend that you invite a couple of really deep belly breaths. These are really big, powerful breaths that you don't normally take throughout your day. Reacquaint yourself with your body, with how that full breath, what that experience is like in your body. Just a couple. It actually takes a lot of practice to sustain long breaths over a long period of time. Right now, you just need a couple of breaths. After that, you can go back to some more natural breathing. Do remain focused and softening, letting go around the upper back, lower back, and hips especially. You can imagine your knees melting further towards the floor. And I highly recommend that using your imagination to visualize breathing through the pores of your skin. And what that does is that it invites a much more holistic understanding of the body, that you're constantly sensing your environment throughout all parts of your body. And then after another intentional breath or two, start to shift into your final resting pose, your Shavasana. Both palms facing up towards the ceiling, legs stretched out. The only thing to be purposeful about in this pose is to relax your body. However, do notice the power of this last resting pose. It's an opportunity to do nothing. It's a universal pose despite the diversity of types of yoga classes offered. It's held a long time. It's a pose that teaches us the wisdom of slowing down and doing nothing. Soften your forehead, jaw, neck, shoulders down to your wrists and fingertips, imagining your fingers float just a little bit more. Notice that metaphor, or notice that our hands hold on to so much. And here we can soften and let go with our hands. Soften the upper back and mid back, lower back to the area around your tailbone. And then down the length of your legs, hips, behind your knees, down to your ankles and toes. Softening, letting go, receiving, and integrating your practice. And then we'll start to bring some movement back to our fingertips and toes. Notice your breath. Invite a generous inhale and exhale. You can invite a full body stretch. You can also turn your body to the side, allowing it to remain heavy and relaxed. Once again, returning to a generous and a leisurely breath. Inhale here. And exhale, you can side out. Start to make your way up to your seat. You can sit in a cross-legged position or any position that is helpful for you right now. Do bring yourself into integrity with your body, lengthening your spine, drawing your shoulders down, chin neutral. And then we'll take a moment here to appreciate the process of arriving to the present moment and how, as we arrive to our breath, we are welcoming ourselves and our experience. So with that in mind, in appreciation, let's take our hands in front of our heart center and then invite an intentional breath. Let's inhale here and exhale. And in the tradition of yoga, the highest in me sees the highest in you. May we walk with each other in gratitude.